About 2 minutes ago, David Muir from ABC News delivered a major update from downtown. Former CEO Clifton Powell has received his final sentence. The once celebrated executive, renowned for transforming Powell Industries into a billion-dollar powerhouse, now faces a critical turning point in his life. Powell, who rose from humble beginnings, had worked tirelessly to establish himself as a respected figure in business. However, a convergence of legal issues, personal challenges, and serious financial crimes has culminated in this shocking moment. Many in the business community are left stunned, wondering whether this marks the definitive end of his career or if a comeback is still possible. For now, the only certainty is that his sentence is official and its impact undeniable. Clifton. Powell's early years were marked by hardship. Growing up in southeast Chicago was no easy feat for young Clifton. The neighborhood was rough and circumstances stacked the odds against him from the beginning. "I grew up in Chicago, southeast Chicago actually," Powell once recounted, in an interview, his voice carrying the weight of those early memories. When he was just 6, tragedy struck as his father lost his job at the local steel mill. This loss plunged the family into financial struggle. With a mother juggling 3 jobs and siblings needing care, Clifton had to learn self-reliance much earlier than most children. Without strong guidance, many kids from his neighborhood ended up on dangerous paths. "I grew up with a lot of guys who wound up in jail, caught up with drugs, or involved with gangs," he explained. The streets of southeast Chicago had a way of consuming young men, often leaving them with criminal records or worse. Fortunately, Powell was not alone. He was lucky to have mentors who intervened when he needed them most. "Mr. Franklin, my high school math teacher, took me under his wing. He was probably the first person to tell me I was good with numbers and could make something of myself," Powell recalled gratefully. This mentorship changed the trajectory of his life, providing a positive role model during a crucial time. His grandmother also played an essential role, encouraging him to stay focused on education whenever possible. Between her care and his regular visits to the community center, Clifton stayed on a better path. "I was at that community center every afternoon after school. That's why I'm here today. Without that place, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. I'd probably be locked up somewhere," he admitted. No one could have predicted that this struggling kid from Chicago would one day become a powerful CEO. His sentencing now a headline in the business world. Before receiving his final sentence, Powell's journey was long and arduous. From the tough streets of Chicago to the towering skyscrapers of Wall Street, he carved out his path to success. Interestingly, he hadn't grown up dreaming of business leadership. "I wanted to be an engineer," he shared once. Business leadership was not part of his original plan, but sometimes life steers you in unexpected directions. At Michigan State University, a business school competition for entrepreneurial ideas caught his attention. "I told Professor Martinez, I think I want to enter the competition," he remembered. Many from his background didn't pursue business leadership, but the professor gave him a chance. That opportunity became the first step toward founding Powell Industries. After college, Powell's dedication to entrepreneurship became clear. When he launched his first tech company in 1994, his commitment set him apart. While many young entrepreneurs celebrated small wins, he refined his business model and secured crucial funding to ensure his company's survival and growth. "People kept telling me, 'You should be bigger than you are,'" Powell reflected. His talent was undeniable, but the road ahead was filled with obstacles unrelated to his skills. One early challenge came from a skeptic during a pitch to a venture capital firm. "The lead investor told me I'd never succeed," Powell recalled, but instead of being discouraged, he followed his passion. "If this is what you believe in, go for it," he said. This determination helped him build a solid foundation through modest contracts in the late 1990s. Everything changed in 2008 when Powell secured a major government contract showcasing his company's innovative technology. This breakthrough performance caught the attention of Wall Street, dramatically raising his profile. As his career soared, few anticipated the challenges ahead, challenges that would ultimately lead to the sentence altering his life. As Clifton Powell's prominence grew, so did the pressures and temptations accompanying success. His leadership at Powell Industries demonstrated his versatility, inspiring employees and impressing shareholders alike. "I build companies that create lasting value. It's not about quick profits, but sustainable growth," he famously said. a line still quoted by business students today. Despite his commanding presence, life in the spotlight was far from glamorous. "There's a lot of pressure when you become successful," Powell admitted. "People want your money, your time, your attention. Some people pretend to be friends but are really after something." The demanding lifestyle strained his personal life, including his marriage to Catherine, which lasted over 15 years, an impressive feat in high-powered business circles. Yet even that couldn't withstand the pressures of success. "I spent too much time away from home, didn't save enough emotional energy for my kids, and got caught up in temptations, luxury, and bad decisions," he confessed. The end of his marriage marked a low point. "When my marriage ended, I was at my lowest. I lost everything that truly mattered," Powell revealed. His life spiraled in ways unseen by colleagues. "I made riskier business decisions, heavily leveraging the company. I had the trappings of success, but no balance," he admitted. Most painful was realizing he hadn't been there for his children as much as he should have. "I worked hard to provide, but I could have done better. I was gone 80% of the time, not 50%, he reflected, regret audible in his voice. Despite these struggles, Powell continued working, tackling bigger challenges and building his reputation as a skilled leader. Yet beneath the surface, problems were mounting, problems that would lead to his sentence. When allegations surfaced in May 2021, Powell's life was forever altered. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, opened an investigation into Powell. Industry's accounting practices. Whistleblowers within the company had presented evidence of serious financial misconduct. The accusations were grave. Powell had allegedly inflated company revenues through deceptive accounting for nearly 3 years while taking substantial personal bonuses. The story broke publicly when the Wall Street Journal published details. Powell immediately denied the claims through his attorney. "Mr. Powell absolutely denies these false accusations and will pursue all legal remedies against his accusers," the statement read. For Powell, the allegations were devastating. "I built this company from nothing. I would never intentionally mislead investors," he asserted. "This has been the worst period of my life. I feel betrayed." The emotional toll was immense. "It's been the hardest ordeal I've faced since my mother passed," he shared, his voice breaking. "I've lost business relationships. My reputation is nearly destroyed." The accusations created a perception of guilt that was difficult to shake. Investors pulled back, deals vanished, and doors once open to him closed. "I was working on a deal expected to bring in $7 to $8 million, but after the second meeting, it disappeared," Powell said. He believed many judged him unfairly based on headlines often lacking full context, despite clarifying the situation that it was an SEC investigation, not a conviction. The damage was done. Powell faced what felt like a professional exile. His time as a respected business leader was at risk. But the story didn't end there. As legal proceedings continued, Powell began to fight back publicly. In a 2024 interview, he shared new details and expressed relief over some legal victories. However, he remained deeply affected by the personal and professional damage already inflicted. "This has been the worst time of my life," he said. The accusations coming from within his own company only intensified the pain. Powell emphasized the vital support he received from his family, remaining team members, and attorneys during this crisis. This backing was crucial in helping him endure the storm. Despite everything, he spoke candidly about the toll on his career and reputation. "I've lost business. My reputation is basically ruined. Now I have to rebuild," he explained. The road to recovery would be long, but Powell was determined to try. What frustrated him most was how quickly people judged him without knowing the full story. "A guy told me he doesn't trust me, says I cheat investors, but he doesn't. Know me or the facts," Powell shared. He also spoke about the disconnect between public perception and the realities of managing a business. "People judge me based on the persona they see, not the complex realities behind the scenes," he explained. This misunderstanding even led to uncomfortable and sometimes threatening encounters with strangers. Despite the challenges, Powell refused to give up. He saw himself fighting not just for his own reputation, but also against a system that too often rushes to judgment without all the facts. As this chapter unfolded, the question remained, Would this final sentence mark the end of his career, or could redemption still lie ahead?